Hey everybody, wanted to do another update with our ambassador athlete program. Coming off a busy weekend with some other OVN stuff we had going on with events, but I don't want to lose pace here with what we've got going on because the athletes and ambassadors are doing some great stuff. A lot of practicing going on, a lot of getting ready for some competitions. I can't believe it's almost May, but we wanted to jump right into that. We just came off a great event in just north of San Antonio. First time in Texas. A couple of our board members really had the idea to do an event down there at Veterans Village, to ride, and we just can't thank those that were down there enough. We check it out on social media. Some of the organizations were with us, really, really good. Now I'll kind of mention a couple of those later, but before we get rolling on our athletes, I wanted to kind of switch it up. I've been doing it at the end, but I want to announce like our new athletes in the beginning when we do have them. Um, we're kind of slowing, so those that we get in, we take as many as we possible, but we want to keep it manageable, be able to keep the communication up with all our athletes. But would really like to welcome. I mentioned this last time, but we want to reiterate it. We just got it out, announced it online. But Brent Strelo just came to us, Army veteran, pro motocross racer, super competitive. But Brent, as I mentioned last time, he's already doing great things with veterans. And we are just want to be another resource for him to help out being able to get veterans connected, and we want to support him in what he's doing. But we appreciate him, and it's just excited to have you a part of the team, buddy. And he's got a really cool energy drink sponsor out there. I believe it's Pursuit. You have to check that out as well. They do some things to support veterans, which we love to see companies do. Also, Tim's out in Northern California. Tim's a Marine. We got out of the Marine Corps quite a while ago, and he was referred by another athlete of ours. But Tim's into jiu-jitsu. He was a radio guy in the Marines. Great guy. We sat and we talked a little bit about the program. And what was really cool is our friends at the We Defy Foundation, which, if you don't know, they give out scholarships for jiu-jitsu to help veterans. There's some criteria behind that. But they do an excellent job, have partnerships in this huge network of gyms all through the United States. And Tim got one of those scholarships. So that's Tim's sport. He's getting into jiu-jitsu. He just got his gi. And so we're excited, and we're going to get an announcement out about that, but we want to welcome Tim to the team. Moving on to, really, I want to talk about those motocrossers first. We got one hell of a team of motocrossers. They really came together. They are doing so many great things for veterans just across the board. A couple of them are regional directors with VetMX Foundation. As I mentioned, Brent already does. He trains, helps out with his MX Warrior program. But we had Crystal and Craig are getting ready to compete this weekend. Crystal had a competition a couple weeks ago, came in, had a great finish, I think second or third in her class. Might have mentioned that before. But she's got a big one this weekend in Enduro, so check her out. It is Power Band Perry on Instagram. And then Craig is still working on that knee, getting it healed up, but he'll be out there supporting her. And then also be three-gun competition before you know it. Also, Rich, a couple guys off this week. Rich was helping out at his local track with a race last week, so he didn't race. Tony's been busy out there in Colorado. Ryan, we saw some video of him out of track in Virginia. He's been passing out those websites and logos, making a lot of connections out there. And then Johnny did some competitions last 2 weekends in a row. I believe it was top 10 finishes every race. So shout out to him. He's got his little boys out there racing. He's got that beautiful tribute bike. And really a big shout out to Johnny. He's actually making some progress again. Warriors class events added to a lot of local tracks. Well, one right now, but he's got his radar on a few others. And for those of you that don't know what the Warrior class is, that's where at a motocross race, it's almost self-explanatory. When veterans come out, only veterans can apply for that class. But it's really cool because immediately that's opportunity to bring them together, let other veterans see who the other veterans are, and the camaraderie and the community begins right there. The VetMX Foundation guys and girls, they really are the spearheaders of this. I don't know if they created the Warrior class, but I got to hand it to them. I see their name all over it everywhere. My boy Jason Bennett with them. They're doing some great things. So Johnny, hats off to you, buddy. That's exactly the way to get out there in your sport, spread the message. We're doing really cool things. Same with all of our other ones. Janelle, We're wishing her luck. She's actually in drill instructor school, so she's off the track for a little bit. But really wishing her luck down there. She'll be there another 7 8 weeks, and then she'll be back up and hopefully get back into the grind and get back out on the motocross track. Alex still healing up, hanging there, buddy. I think June's coming quick. I think that's when you can get back on the bike. So we got plenty going on with motocross, and as everybody knows, it's just now is when everything starts to spin up. Matt's been competing. It's been a couple weeks. He had a nice first race up there in New Jersey. He's getting ready to compete again in the series he's in. So wish him luck getting his 250 graphics lined up here. We've been a little slow, but we're going to catch up with him on that new bike he just got. Also, we want to shout out to Don down in New Mexico. Finished a half marathon, crushed it. I saw pictures after he was done. It looked like when I do a quarter-mile jog. That's the way he looked. It was amazing. But that's real good in his preparation for back-to-back Ironmans this fall, which is really going to be cool. And we're going to work on some stuff around those races. So, good job, buddy. He said there was like close to 1,000 people at the marathon. Got to meet a lot of veterans. A lot of people ask about it. And something he did was he ran in honor of like and I may have mentioned this before in the last one, but 6 crew members. Don was a Osprey flight engineer, still trains in that. And so it was a really cool Fallen Heroes tribute he did. On to race cars. Hey, this weekend, Rob and Chris are both in New Orleans. Chris has a really cool Run to Wear Blue, Run to Remember scheme on his. I got to say, when we were down in Texas, we got to meet Glory Grace is one of their chapter presidents down there, Gold Star spouse. What an amazing lady. What an amazing organization. We got to spend time with them. What they do for the Gold Star family kids is just off the charts. And Chris is an ambassador for them. They're all over his race car, that Porsche Cayman. So look for that down there in the number 96. GT America. Watch for it on YouTube. And I think they do it delayed cast on CBS Sports, NBC Sports. I don't want to get any network stuff wrong. Then our Rob. Rob is coming off a second place finish in his BMW. Really cool looking car. Paisley, I don't know. There's some artistic name for that scheme. It is just wild. But it's really cool. But they had a strong finish last race. So looking forward to another podium, another strong finish for both teams. So we wish them a lot of luck. I think outside of that, we mentioned about our new athletes, all of our riders. We do want to say, hope Jimmy's feeling better. He's getting a little beat up in his jiu-jitsu. He got that third a couple weeks ago, but he's also shout out to him. We got a new guy coming on board down in Florida, and Jimmy connected with him, and he's helping him with some tips, some different things on some competitions he has coming up in June. Again, what our ambassadors do. They help there. They be there for other veterans. They mentor them. They bring them in. They're going to be talking with Tim. He's new to jiu-jitsu, same way. So shout out to you, buddy. Then we want to talk about a couple just crazy, we mentioned about Conor winning this fight. I mean, made short order of this dude. But we've got some exciting news. It's about all we can say. But we really, hats off to you, buddy. And the main thing I want to say about Conor is he sent me a picture the other day. Sometimes we get busy in different parts of the organization. We don't get to talk to, everybody on the team as much as we'd like to, but we shoot texts, DMs. But he shot me a picture of his last First Responder Veteran Sunday session. And there was like 10, 12 people in there. And I tell you what, this is what it's about. Our athletes are busy. They're focused on their sport. That's what we want them to do. But this is them out of their passion, their heart to help their fellow veterans, to be innovative and figure out ways that they can do this. Conor, on his own, decided to do this every Sunday. He could be sitting down, watching a football, hockey game, basketball game, hanging out with his girlfriend and dog out at the park or whatever. But he chooses to take that time to share his skill, what's really been good for him, and that's jiu-jitsu, with some others, first responders and veterans. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Anybody in the Boston area, first responders, veterans. My mom's basement is his gym. But look for him, the Controller MMA on Instagram, Facebook, and stop in and check him out. Also, our boy Sean Lally at Title Boxing Gym. Sean's working hard over there. Um, I don't want to say there's rumors, but I think he's getting itching to get maybe do something in the competition field again. We'll see. We're also excited he's going to be on a podcast with our friends at the Warriors Unmasked. Great podcast, mainly around athletes, pro athletes after they got out of there, but he's been having a lot of veterans on there. A lot of commonalities between the stressors that athletes and veterans go through when they transition out of the military, out of their sport at that high level. Um, but looking all of them. Speaking of MMA, who hopefully nobody missed it. I'm sure people did. But live on Showtime last Friday night. Uh, Closed audience to only first responders, veterans, military at the fight down in Hawaii. Liz Carmouche defended her belt at the Bellator 294. It was on Showtime. Let me tell you, this Marine went out there, and this was a pretty special night. A lot of times when we do things like this in our athletes, it's very personal to them. They have our support of OVN. We work together to highlight our fallen hero stories. But, Liz was a Marine. She deployed to Iraq. And we had a conversation briefly about honoring a guy that was really, teammate that was really special. Michael Lowry, Sergeant, was in the Marines. He was killed almost 10 years or a little more than 10 years ago. But we got together and said, hey, let's put his name on the banner. Let's honor him. Let's honor Liz's friend. And I tell you what, she did him proud. She went out there, and the opponent, a little disrespected her. Come in, was a little overweight, which we saw and heard really pissed Liz off, and I don't blame her. You work hard for that, and as a champion, you deserve that respect. You earned that respect for a competitor. But Liz, being a professional she is, said, hey, I'll put my belt on the line. You know what I mean? That girl can't win it, but she said, that's all right. I'm going to fight her anyways. And she knew those first responders, those veterans, those military were coming to see that fight as well, and she was fighting for Michael. She went out, tough first rounds. It was no joke. I mean, the girl was out there putting on a fight, but I think it was the fourth period. All of a sudden, the light, Liz just took over. She put her in a hold, a submission hold, and all I saw was feet pounding on the ground and begging basically to let me go. And there it was. Liz got up like a great champion, never give up, and it was pretty awesome to watch. So congratulations, champ. Really appreciate you. It was an honor to do that together for Sergeant Galori. We hope his family got to see some of that. It was kind of late in the game we did that, but really cool to see and to say his name, for all those people to see his name. If you go to opvetnow.org, there's a link on the right. It has the story, a couple pictures of him. So it was really just an honor to pay tribute to him for his sacrifice for our country. And the guy was a Marine. I mean, he was a badass. So thanks, Liz. Congratulations, champ. I hope you get some rest. Enjoy the family for a while. I know you've been away from him at camp. So I think that's it. We do want to shout out last thing to Jake up in Idaho. Jake just got out of the Army. He's not competing right now, but he is in the process of setting up outdoor events for veterans on snowmobiles, dirt bikes, snow bikes. He's working hard up there, building a chapter, working with some other organizations. So shout out to you, buddy. Great job. And if I didn't mention this, I tell you, there's so much going on with our girl Key, the Pittsburgh Passion, kicked some butt down in D.C. last weekend, like 41 to like nothing. Wasn't zero, but it wasn't much. And great game, Key. Shout out to you. Looking forward to the next game, but great start for the Pittsburgh Passion. And Key doing her thing. She introduces to another veteran football player who works with a great organization called Soldier On. They do a lot of help with veterans that are down and out. Need housing, little financial trouble, all kind of things. So really excited to start working with Soldier On more. But that's our athletes doing their thing, spreading the message, growing the portfolio of help, and getting us connected. So sorry if I missed anybody. Everybody have a great week. Again, thanks for all you do. And thank you for everybody for being there for our veterans.